Why? Because they're not sharp. They might be super knowledgeable about this or that or who knows what. Probably a lot of former weathermen. They might know about cold fronts. That's great. But when it comes to Vegas, when it comes to the odds, they don't really know. But what they realize is, you know something, there's people that know, so I'll go listen to them and then try to regurgitate it.
Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony, and welcome to another edition of B&A Giants Talk. This is not an edition of B&A Giants Talk, but we're talking Giants today. I have a couple of topics that I want to talk about today. We'll get into my Giants preview, probably Saturday, Sunday. It's funny because the season can just end, and we're like 5-11, or we can make the playoffs and feel really hype. It would almost be, I don't want the Giants to get too high on themselves after the playoff again, but today what we're going to talk about, my biggest problem, I think, with the Giants, a couple Christmas wish lists, and a little bit of a season preview for the New York Giants next year. Who do we play? I always like taking a look ahead of that, and we're not going to pick W's and L's, but I want to show you who we're playing, because not a lot of people think about that. And next year, remember, there are 17 games. So the biggest problem with the New York Giants, I'm not sure if I put this in the title, but it's Jason Garrett. Now, I don't think we should make him the scapegoat from the season. I don't think we should be like, the reason why the Giants sucked, Jason Garrett. We didn't have Saquon Barkley, but what I would say to that is he didn't play for 3-4 games last year as well. And even when he did play, he wasn't that great. He was missing blocks. Overall, he wasn't healthy for 3-4 games with Daniel Jones. We saw the first 2 games where Saquon was healthy. We faced Tampa and Washington, 2 very not good teams at that point. But we got lucky to beat Tampa Bay. So I don't think Saquon added much to this team. He added like that 75-yard threat. And with Wayne Gallman, we saw he couldn't do that. He can't break tackles. He almost is there, but he can't break tackles. He falls forward, though. He gets those extra 2-3 yards, which Saquon can't do. We can, but he just doesn't. I'm not sure if he can. But anyway, so we saw with Gallman that 60-yard gain. That's the reason why we won the Seattle game. You need some explosive plays, and it can't be all reliant on Daniel Jones. It can't be all reliant on one guy because that's not sustainable. We've seen, even with Russell Wilson this year in spurts, he cannot carry the team. It doesn't matter how good you are. And with Jason Garrett, we took a look at the regression of Daniel Jones. 9 touchdowns, 9 interceptions in 13 games. We took a look at Cam Newton. We rag on him. He has 5 touchdowns passing, but he has 12 or so running. That's 17, if I'm doing the math correctly. And he's played in the same amount of games as Daniel Jones this year. Daniel Jones had 9. Should have been 10 because he ended up tripping. But he's just regressed. Every single stat, pretty much he's getting worse. And now there are obviously stats that he's getting better in because it's just from experience, like on-target percentage and some of those dumb stats like that. Even on-target percentage, he's down. Bad throw percentage is down. He's made better decisions, but I think Daniel Jones thrives more when he's making risky decisions and he's learning from the decisions he's making. He's not going to be this safe quarterback like this Alex Smith guy that a lot of people are comparing him to. He's going to be a guy that throws it deep. And maybe this year he's completed a lot of those because he hasn't had the amount of attempts, but he's a one-read quarterback. Let him throw deep. Let him air it out. He's going to have some bad games. He's also going to have some good games. But, you can't be totally reliant on him. We'll end this topic on 2 different notes. So, first of all, if Jared Goff can make the Super Bowl, and so can Jimmy G, I think the right offensive coordinator and the right offensive mind can make Daniel Jones a successful quarterback. I'm not saying Super Bowl, but definitely closer than what we were this year. And then it was Mara's idea. Whatever Mara's idea is, I think we should lean towards the opposite way because sometimes his loyalty, he's a Jason Garrett guy, and sometimes his loyalty is the downfall of the Giants. My Christmas and New Year's resolutions wish list for the New York Giants, first of all, is firing Jason Garrett. He's dealt with limited weapons, but how much limited were they last year? Than last year. We had the same weapons, same exact weapons, and if anything, Evan Ingram is even more healthy this year, and we've had better blocking, so there's that. So fire Garrett, hire an offensive coordinator. I don't want it to be like the next guru. I don't want this guy to be the next hyped big thing. I want a guy that's going to be somewhat creative. Jason Garrett has been creative this year so far, but I want a new, fresh blood that we can keep around for a little bit. Not a guy like Jason Garrett who maybe even been looking for another coaching job in the future. A guy who's going to probably leave eventually no matter what. So get another offensive coordinator. I'm not just saying this. I think in the beginning of the season, that was the most head-scratching move I had. Next, we need to keep Dave Gettleman. Him and Joe Judge have a working relationship. People are probably, let's start the Bill Belichick as GM conversation again. Joe Judge as GM, I'm more apt to get somebody out of that, outside our organization, because, you need something a little bit new thinking. But Joe Judge and Dave Gettleman did a really good job. Whoever we want to give credit to, they're a good working couple. We had a good value signing in Logan Ryan. When was the last time we had a Logan Ryan? Like a value signing, just like, whoa, this guy's actually good, and it feels like we can get him for years and years. Next thing, we need to make 2 great wide receiver moves. You had Logan Ryan, who just came out and is trying to recruit players from the Titans. He loves New York. You need players who love New York. That's why I said at the beginning of the season, you need to build a culture. We've done that. The Seattle game was immensely important. You needed a game where it's just like, did we just beat the Bengals and the Washington football team all year, or did we have a signature win? That was a signature win. He's going to go after guys like Corey Davis and say, you got picked 5th in the draft. You're a really good prospect. You are the missing piece here. Great route runner, catches the ball, questionable injury history, but it's somebody that the Giants wanted a lot. Same thing with Jack Conklin. It feels like whoever the Titans draft besides Isaiah Wilson, we all love. They also have Adoree Jackson, who was injured for the majority of the year. He's taken a little bit of a step back this year. 75 PFF grade over the past couple years. We'll talk more about these prospects later, but Adoree Jackson, getting a guy like that, getting a CB2 is also probably another wish list here. Also, Khalif Raymond. Khalif Raymond is a punt returner for them, but he's a speedster. He could take the top off a defense. Doesn't have an official 40 time, but let me tell you, it's around a 4.3. He's 27 years old, drafted in 2016. He could be a guy that's successful. I think he took a little bit of a step back this year compared to 2019. But Khalif Raymond, I took a look at some of his highlights. I didn't do an in-depth film breakdown, but he looks like a guy that we can bring on to be successful. That's somebody I would look at if I were the New York Giants. And, the guy may take a little bit of a discount. And yeah, those are pretty much the guys. Maybe even to Desmond King, because remember, he got traded too from the Titans. Logan Ryan may be like, yeah, I played for the Titans. Our cornerback group sucked. Join the Giants. You're going to be successful here. You're going to have Patrick Graham put you in a position to succeed. He can be a slot cornerback, with a Darnay Holmes, and all of a sudden you have an elite, cornerback group. I'd lean, he's a better slot guy, so I'd lean more towards like an outside guy, but bring on some talent to this team. He's not going to be that expensive. And overall, I think that'd be fairly solid. And next, we have to get to 9 wins. Again, we play 17 games next year. Let's get to 9 wins. Let's be 9-8 next year. That's my goal for the New York Giants. That's my New Year's resolution for the New York Giants. Let's get to 9 wins. We play the NFC North, meaning we play the Buccaneers. I think we play them at home again. That's funny. We play the Saints, we play the Falcons, and we play the Panthers. You can go 2-2 there. We also have the AFC West. Chiefs, that's a loss. I don't care. Even Patrick Mahomes is hurt. We're still probably going to lose that game. Justin Herbert and the Chargers, they're going to get a better coach. That's a loss. But I think we can beat the Broncos and the Las Vegas Raiders. That would be 2-2. So if we go 4-4 in that divisional play, then all of a sudden you take a look at this division. Washington has questions at quarterback. Eagles, if they stick with Hurts, you think they're going to beat us twice? So I think we can go 4-2 in the division. Again, we're either going to go 4-2 or 3-3 this year. I think we can go 4-2 in the division. And then finally, if we win this weekend, we're most likely going to be in first place. That means we are going to play Green Bay, and that means we're going to play Seattle next year. Or if we lose, we'll most likely be in last place, because I think the Eagles are going to win. That would force us into the last place in this division. We'd play the Lions, and we'd play the 49ers. I think we'd lose both those games. We play Green Bay and Seattle, because I don't think they're going anywhere. So New Year's resolution: Giants make 2 significant wide receiver moves, meaning one in the draft, first round. I'm talking first round, maybe second round, because this draft has depth. Maybe a Jalen Waddle, like for some reason there's injury concerns and he falls. I mean, we've seen guys like A.J. Brown fall that far. I should have mentioned that a little bit earlier, but we've seen guys like with good wide receiver talent fall. Maybe you see a guy like Gregory Rousseau who falls to you. That'd be good. Then fire Jason Garrett, hire a smart offensive coordinator that's going to be able to grow with a Daniel Jones. Keep Gettleman because he has a working relationship with Joe Judge. And then finally, let's go 9-8. Let's go 9-8, baby. We went 6-10, 5-11 this year. We haven't really improved that much. Take a look at last year, 4-12. This year, 5-11. And 6-10 if we're lucky. That's not really that big of an improvement, but again, we placed a harder schedule. Before I start talking myself off the wall, have a good New Year, guys. I have a bunch of videos planned over the next couple of days. It should be fun, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.